Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining Athletic Conceptual Training. We have a great interview for you all today. We have a powerhouse, a Black woman. It's just fitting for Black History Month to have this sit down conversation with one of Louisiana's finest, um, Chasidee.
Yes, thank you for having me. I am excited to be here and tell this story.
Yeah, we've been really excited about this ever since you gave me your okay. I've been so excited. I've been putting out videos. I've been telling everybody I
I
can.
appreciate the publicity. I love it. I love it.
It's deserved. I mean, you've done some amazing things, and even just like the little video of you squatting. What? What?
That's
I
the part of
mean,
my life many people don't know about. A lot of people just think I just ran. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna sit back and let you tell us your story. Tell us your journey. You know what led you to this point in life, and how did you get here?
Well, I guess to start from the beginning, I was born and raised in Natchitoches, Louisiana. I remember, PE, that's when we did shuttle races, eraser races in elementary school. And it was just always my most funnest PE event because I knew I was about to go in there and beat everybody. But nobody really kind of took it serious. I moved to Alexandria, fourth grade. And it was kind of the same situation. My mom put me in. I really think my mama probably expected me to do girly girl things because
Hmm.
she put me in gymnastics, which really was very helpful because I got to be really flexible. They focus on
Yeah,
stretching. So that was
yeah.
actually the started foundation before I even started running track. I think I did gymnastics for like 3 years. And one summer, there was a guy, one day my mom come to pick me up, and he was just like, "Oh, Miss Connie, like you have to get her in running track. She's so fast." And my mama, she's just kind of like, "Oh, okay, okay, that's okay." So seventh grade comes, and they publicize and track tryouts, got to come try out. And I'm like, I want to try out, I want to go out, I want to go out. So she like, okay, go out. And I think a couple days before tryouts, her and my dad, they're like, well, let's just take you to the track and let's just take you to the track and just see something.
Hmm.
Well, it's just me, my, no offense, mama, she on here now, my non-athletic mother.
Wait. Shout her out. Tell the world who she
Yes,
is.
my mom is my biggest supporter from
Yeah.
day one, literally, and has always been like so much driving to and from track meets, planes, hotels, summer track. Like she really, when they say invest in your child, like she overly exceeded that requirement, invested in my child. And she is on here. Mama, say hello, speak something.
Hello to the world.
Hey, mama,
So
I love you.
So she took me to the track. Lo and behold, I run into Noah Hingston
Hmm.
and I think his niece Angela Hingston, and they approach me and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I got trials a couple days," and so instantly, they take me under their wing. They started training me. I think shortly after that, Coach Noah was leaving Alexandria, so I was stuck with Angela Hingston. Of course, I ran in junior high. um just a lot of junior highs don't take track and field serious, so I was just kind of out there running, but I had real coaches after school practice. I started running summer track. The first year I ran summer track, I had an upset. The regional meet where it is Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, that's the southern regional for USA track and field, and I ran the 100, and it was like almost a 3-person photo line finish at the line.
Oh
And so
man.
only get first through third to make it. And I mean, it looked like on everybody's camera, even my opponents were like, "Look like you got second," but they got me at fourth. I remember
Oh,
like We tried to protest it and everything. So I missed the Junior Olympics trying out my first time going.
Yeah.
I actually went though, but I didn't compete. So the very next summer, I actually made the Junior Olympics effortlessly this year. I think now I'm probably maybe either entering or finishing my 8th grade year. But the unfortunate thing is, I would say the Junior Olympics were in Miami. So I think the very last thing I was focusing on was running, because I don't think I made it out of the first round at all with my age group that year. So I continue running. I think by now I'm in high school. I'm a freshman. I had a pretty successful freshman year. I did have another upset. I think I've had a lot of like upsets, I will say, in track and field, because I had never been beaten outdoor until I come to the regional meet to make it to the state meet. And this is my heart now. LaTanya Locke, she ran for Bastrop. I'm a freshman. She's a senior. And I had never been beaten. So for her to kind of catch me off guard at the regional meet. And I blame my high school coaches. I love them to death. Mike Crenshaw, Larry LaBeouf at the time. I think Danae Jones Mack. I feel like I wish they would have just told me, go run your race. You are not going to beat her. So I jumped the gun at the state meet as a freshman in the 100-meter dash.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's
Yes, I jumped the gun after we had just won the 4x2. We had just won the 4x2. The next race for me is the 100. I'm antsy. You know, I've competed on big levels because by then I had already been to the Junior Olympics. Summer track just exposes you to a crowd and competition that I don't think a lot of people will see elsewhere, especially living in the South where we live. So I'm just like super antsy and you know, I'm just gonna beat her. And our times were like this. So on her worst day and my best day, I still would not have beat her. So I jumped the gun. And it was a red card, not a warning. So I had to watch the race finish. And I don't know, most people, if they've been at LSU's outdoor meet, the 100-meter is in the middle of the track. So you kind of got to make that walk of shame, pass everybody up. And then, of course, the next day, it was all in the newspaper that I just bawled in my coach's chest. And the very next race was the 4x1, where we dropped the baton on the first or second leg. So it's just kind of looking like, oh, Ash is just having an upset of a state meet. So we run the 200. I get second, and we literally lose state that year by a point.
Oh, man.
So I think after that, I ran summer track that year again. I had a very successful summer track year. I made it to Oregon. Where I became an All-American in 2004.
That's, if I could ask you a quick question, because I think it's really important, especially for young athletes, to understand what happened at this point in your life, because it speaks to overcoming, and it speaks to not letting a blip be the determining factor for your overall success.
Yes, I had track and field, I was so supported. In home, out of home, school admin, family members. I had so much support. So I think that's number one, because your mindset can be whatever it needs to be. But if you don't have that backbone and that village behind you, it's going to be kind of like walking down a dark alley by yourself with nothing.
So what would you tell younger kids today about support if they don't have it?
I actually deal with a lot of that sometimes. As a coach, I see it in the opposite of the way that I had it. And I become that support for them. So I become the things that were told to me, the things that I wanted to hear as an athlete. I try to send motivational messages. I tell them also in a minimum of like who their coach is and the things I've overcome, the things they can overcome, but it's just positive affirmations. I would probably tell them if it's something you want to do, just do it. Just do it, literally.
Yeah. So where do you coach now? I mean, where can
I
people find you?
actually coach. I am the girls head coach at Woodlawn High School in Shreveport, Louisiana.
There you go, Shreveport, Louisiana. If you guys want a quality coach, you've seen the videos, you've seen the highlights. This is who you want.
Yes, yes.
And you know what? While we're doing that, tell them about your business. Tell the world.
My business. I am the founder and owner of Track University. 2019, I decided to hop back into the track and field world because I did take a break for a while. I hopped back into, and I remember telling my mom, like, I want to do a big track camp in Alexandria. And she was just like, okay, okay. I come to my mama with so many ideas. And initially she's kind of like, oh, I mean, okay, if that's what you want to do. But I mean, it's like immediately after she's hopping on, but I talked to such and such and they thought it'd be a great idea. So we end up pulling together September of 2019. And I had my first track camp in my alma mater, Alexandria Senior High.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember during registration, we had the registration was coming in kind of slow for a period of time. So of course it was kind of like, I just have big expectations and people know that. And so to prevent me from being disappointed, my mom, my family was kind of like, we'll just plan and prepare for 25 kids. And I'm like, yeah, definitely. And so the night before the track camp, I had a meet and greet to where parents could come out, meet me, and they could still register. So by the time the meet /camp happened on Saturday, I think we were at like 50 kids.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a success. I brought some of my former teammates out, Quatisha Williams, Latanya Locke, who I just told you beat me. She came out. She was actually coaching at a college at LC and brought her college athletes out to assist the athletes and the students that were there. Michael Word, he's actually the head coach at Mansfield, ran at ULM. Record holder, thrower Larry Jones came out. So I had Blair Phillips. I had a lot of people that were just like, whatever you need, let me be there. I want to help. I want to support. Some of my friends came to help. So, I mean, that was September 2019. So we know what happened in 2020 was COVID. So the track camps pretty much died down for a period of time. But then I was getting calls like, do you train people one-on-one? And I was thinking, no, well, I mean, I guess I could. So I started training athletes in Ruston, Monroe, athletes in Shreveport, athletes in Alexandria. So it was just kind of like a driving round thing on different times on the weekends, training athletes one-on-one. And that was all before I became a coach at a high school. So kind of at this point, Track University is just kind of coasting because working and then being a coach, it takes up so much time, but
it does.
Just stay tuned. So
that's amazing. I mean, to be able to give back and have people that you've competed against and gone to battle with, in turn, support you, that's love. That's respect. That on a different level. And I think that's something that true athletes only understand, that respect, that code that you have. And it's different. I did an interview the other day, and he kind of spoke to this mindset that athletes themselves have, and competitors, I would say, the difference between an athlete and a competitor, but competitors have, and it's to be able to have the drive and the will to take your game from A and then step it up to B, C, D, E. And not everybody has that. A lot of people just comfortable being at that start. What does it take for you, and what is your motivation? Is it still your community?
I guess it's the period of time that I sit out.
Okay.
The period of time where I finished my senior year in college and was like, I'm done with track. because it didn't end how I anticipated to go. I ran most of my senior year pretty injured.
Yeah.
So the plans that were being planned for the first 3 years of my college just were.
I see.
So during that time where I set out, I personally, they say you don't have any regrets, but I think that's a cliche term because we do have regrets. And I regret sitting out of track and field from 2011 to 2019.
Okay.
So that's more so my drive because I know what type of athlete I was.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest, prior to, I really was a little nervous because, all athletes don't roll over to great coaches and vice versa. So I wanted my athletic success to still match my coaching success, or more so the way that I coached my athletes. So now I'm coaching and I'm back in track and field. So that's really my drive, is to stay in it. I see the success, the mental, physical mindsets and success that I transform every day with my girls. So that's really my motivation for sure, to allow them to be able to see things that they haven't seen and go places they haven't gone.
I mean, talking about seeing things that they haven't seen, places you're gone. I mean, just to name some of your accolades, you're the 100-meter All-American in 2004 and 2005, the Gatorade Athlete of the Year in 2005, Junior Olympic qualifier in 100 meters in 2003, 2004, and 2005. Then we're going to add on the 200-meter in 2005. I mean, I think you've been, wait. 2005 is the Nokia Sugar Bowl Classic track MVP. Tell me about that one.
Oh, this is so funny that my mama is on this video, because my mom has talked so much about, I don't know what it's called, but she says I had this very nasty athletic attitude towards her.
Amen. Amen.
So the Nokia Sugar Bowl Classic, I think at this time I'm a sophomore in high school, and we went down and ran at the Ted Gormley Stadium. I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly, in New Orleans.
Okay.
So it was a nice meet. I remember that meet because my mama videoed every track meet that I had from 7th grade to my senior year, and that's including summer track, powerlifting meets, everything. Yeah. So it's funny now because I go back and watch, and she's like, "Turn around, let me see." And I'm like, "What?" So I remember that meet being one of those meets where she was like, "I am done with you. I am done with you. I am done with you." But it was a great meet. I remember it being a very, very windy meet. But I won the 100, the 200, and our team won the 4x1 and the 4x2 that year. So was able to, I guess, contribute to 40 points that we scored. And end up, it's actually one of my nicest size trophies, that MVP Nokia Sugar Bowl Classic trophy.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So it was.
I mean, what does it take, again, like just speaking to the mentality, like what does it take to be around so many greats and then defeat them? How does that feel?
At 16, very cocky.
Yeah.
At 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, it very cocky. Many teens at that age don't experience those things. Like I missed out on the summer water park trips, the summer amusement park trips, because I got a track meet.
Yep.
And that was just, I was always one of those students that preferred to go to the track meet to run instead of going to the water park for the summer. So that was just always, my drive was just always a winning mindset. Like I was never a quitter. I didn't want to give up. Like if I ran my fastest, it's like, oh, that's great, but let's see if I could run faster. It was just always the next achievement, still celebrating where I was, but just never allowing myself to be stagnant.
I love that. I think that's a great point, because one of the things that I've noticed as we've gone along and interviewed greats, the consistent thing is the accolades are just kind of like tools you pick up along the way. They're not, I mean, we celebrate them like you said, but they're they're not the main goal. And your goal is so much higher. And it's almost like what kids don't understand today is like you can't just, because right now it's all about celebrating that one moment. You capture that one moment, that highlight, and you just blast it out. And sometimes people let that get to their head and don't continue to push forward. It's only few people, and I think that's what makes or separates an athlete from a competitor, because a competitor is going to say, "Okay, I got that one, but that's not all. That's
Right.
not all I got."
Definitely.
And I really love that mentality, and just seeing you just want to dominate. Just want to dominate with a
That was
smile.
the mindset. That was the mindset for sure, for sure. To just dominate whatever I could.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I just had all these had questions. I still want to hear your story.
No, that is great. I don't even remember where we left off.
So you had just won, or no, you had just lost your race qualifying race, because they took the picture and they said you made
Yes, yes.
second, but
I missed
then
yes,
yeah.
going and missed the Junior Olympics that year. So the next year was, I think, probably rolling into my 8th grade year where I qualified for the Junior Olympics effortlessly. But like I said, the Junior Olympics was in Miami, Florida.
Hmm.
So as a 14-year-old in Miami, Florida, this is the one time where I was like, I didn't run good. And my family knew, like my family was set up like, if I didn't run good, they all looking at each other like, we need to go meet her at the line. Like, or we
Hmm.
need to be like the year that I jumped the gun in the 100, I remember like athletes were in the indoor facility. You had to have a wristband on. So my
Hmm.
coaches walked me in, but then like somehow I look up at my mama there, and first thing I'm thinking, like, how you got in here? How did you get in here? You don't have a wristband.
You gonna
But
make it there.
I remember in Miami, I didn't run good, and my family, I saw them like all kind of standing and hovering together because they were coming to check on me. And my next thing was like, I'm good. When we going to the beach?
Yeah.
When we going to the beach. So I didn't run that good at all. That my second year running summer track, my first year running the Junior Olympics, it was terrible.
Hmm.
But I made it through. Now I'm probably entering my 9th grade year. That's when all of that happened. So we finished at second in the state. Then I ran summer track again that year where I did qualify again. We actually ran in Oregon. I was blessed to be able to run in Oregon on that famous track in Eugene, Oregon. I became
Yeah.
an All-American. This is the first year I became an All-American. And I always mean to ask my mama if she regrets not being there, because she taught me a lesson
Uh-oh.
on that Junior Olympic. This is my 3rd summer track, 2nd Junior Olympic, but my first time making an All-American in 2004. Mama, you want to tell this story why you didn't make it to Oregon?
I'm over here laughing out loud right now.
Why
But
did you not go to Oregon that year?
it was a lesson. It was a lesson. And I before, not that story, but for the parents. I need to speak to the parents of these extreme athletes.
Go
They
on and
have
tell
a
them.
mentality that if you're not an athlete, have never been an athlete, you will not understand. And that attitude at some point gets under the skin of a parent who is doing everything for them. And in this moment, I made a hard decision that I'm pulling up. You're going to be able to go, but you will not see me there, and let's see what that's like. And yes, she qualified, but I will also tell you her attitude changed.
It did. It
Hmm.
definitely did, because She said I would treat her bad, but it was still like when I'm finishing my race, that's the first person I'm looking for. That's the first person I'm going to. So like now I've made this, like I've qualified to make it to the finals and I've become an All-American. And it's like, wait a minute.
It's supporting out there.
She's not even here. So it was a huge wake-up call. It was a huge wake-up call because now I got to try to talk to her about this celebration on the phone, you know, and then wait till I fly back into Louisiana. Then so it was definitely a wake-up call. But then
now we watched it because you know they were starting to stream at that time. I never missed a race. I just was absent.
You know, I think that's a really good story and a great thing to highlight too, because as we push our student athletes, it's a grind to be there every day. It's a grind to show up. I mean, sometimes depending on the situation, you got to pay to get in there, but then you got to sit in the parking lot for all day. Then you got to make sure they have everything they need. Make sure you're not getting hurt. Make sure you know their attitudes right, and that is the definition of enduring and being a true support, and that's love is what that is.
And have you ever been outside for 8 hours in the southern states?
No.
During the summertime.
You know, I'm from California, so you know.
So it's probably the hottest heat I feel I have ever experienced. But my mom was there, my grandparents would be there, my coaches. So it was always, you know, and it's just kind of like everything just started being consistent. After that first All-American I got the sophomore year, I think by the time we made it to outdoor, my mom would say, I feel like the town talk was at practice every week. This is a newspaper. They're at practice every week. And every interview is about me jumping the gun the previous years. Every interview is about us missing the state meet by 1 point. I mean, like literally, my mom probably remembers like, I remember her being like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Every article we're going to pick up, it's like putting the pressure on us, like to make sure we won this year. I won the 100. So it's a lot of pressure, and depending on where you are in your mental, it could make you or break you. But obviously it made us. We won. I remember being a part of first place, all 4 events that state meet, 100, 200, 4x1 and the 4x2 that year. And we blazed and won the first Alexandria Senior High state championship in track and field that year in 2005. I finished that year. I ran summer track, and I remember during summer track telling my mom, this is my last year running summer track. I don't want to do it anymore. I had finished. I made the podium. I made the podium in the Junior Olympics, got my second All-American stat. And I was just kind of like, I've done what I needed to do. Now I'm going into my junior year. So I kind of want to focus on, you know, as an upperclassman now. So junior year was basically from my sophomore year till I graduated. I did not get beat in the 100 or the 55 indoor at all at any meet, unless we left and went to Texas relays or something where I think I may have got second or third in the 100 at Texas relays. And we're at high school students running in big meets in Austin, Texas, like Texas relays, and competing and placing and bringing back medals to Louisiana, preferably to Alexandria. So my senior and junior year, it was just kind of perfecting the times, perfecting my time on what I wanted to do. Then pretty much our junior year, we had an upset at the state meet. We didn't win state. I forgot what happened. Oh God, how could I? I misplaced the finish line on the 200. LSU turned the 200 around.
Oh,
I have so many stories. LSU turned the 200 around. So instead of where you would normally run the 200, that's where you were starting. Where you would finish is where you were starting.
Wait. So you had to like Was it like you have to go to the straight and then the curve that way?
No, you still start on the curve, but like for the 200, you typically start at that one spot. That's always the 200 meters starting. We started like where the 400 and every race started and ran it that way.
Oh, ooh.
So I misplaced the finish line because there's break-in lines, there's exchange zones on that side. So I completely misplaced the finish line and got third. We did not win the state meet that year either. So now it's going into the senior year, having to prove some more things again. And we had a phenomenal senior year. My senior year resembled my sophomore year.
Okay.
To where we won. Well, I was a part of all four first place, 100, 200, 4x1, 4x2. We won the state meet. It was like 10 seniors. So we were able to like celebrate that. And that is the only 2 state team championships that the girls track and field team has at Alexandria Senior High.
What?
Yeah. So it was a big
deal. To this day?
Still to this day, yes.
Wow.
Yes, so the 2 state championships that they have in track and field was the teams that I was a part of in 05 and 07.
You are a Louisiana legend.
I think so. Just
a little bit.
Just a small bit. So, but my senior year was different. It was trying to decide. Everybody was every week, where you going to school? Where you going to school? Where you going to school? And that was an adventure, determining where I wanted to go, where I was going. The phone was ringing. I mean, it really got to the point to where it was like certain schools would call, and that's when you had caller ID. There were certain schools that would call. I'll look at the caller ID and be like, I don't want to answer. I don't want to talk to them because I don't want to go there.
Well, what were some of those schools?
Well, and people go judge me for this, but I'm 17 years old, and one thing is my parents did not force me. Like, they supported me, helped talk, but they never were like, no, you're going to do this. It was kind of like, well, you need to make the decision. You need to talk to, figure out. But I know Baylor called. I specifically remember Baylor University calling one day, and I did not answer the phone. Because I was like, no, they're gonna make me a 400 runner. I'm not answering the phone. And that was that's what had already been told to me. Like, they're gonna make you a 400 runner. But what's really even funny about a 400 runner is I call him my track uncle. He's really my track mentor, Trent Ellis. He's a big legend coaching. He had been watching me, talking to me, coach, since 7th grade at summer track. And I remember Louisiana Tech head coach Sean Jackson told my mama, probably between 7th and 9th grade year, she need to be running the 400. She need to be running the 400. And my mom was like, every sprinter is not a 400 runner. He was like,
yeah.
Wait, it was always known that he was Louisiana Tech's track coach. And I remember him telling my mama, like, well, if she don't run the 400, I don't want her. I don't want her. She don't run the 400. And I never forget when my senior year hit, my mama said, Sean Jackson bet not call his house. And lo and behold, look where I ended up going and who I signed with to go, and still ended up at Louisiana Tech University. So
yeah. Well, Mom, did you have a preference for her at that time where you wanted her to go?
I think at the time, LSU, everybody thought that if you get recruited to LSU, you would not turn them down. And we took the visit, and it was a wonderful visit. But, I have a very analytical mindset, very, very technical. So we problem solved. And when they shared with her that, they have an A team, they have a B team, they do recruit Louisiana students, but more so, you couldn't not recruit a top athlete like her, but they were also recruiting out of state, out of country. Right. They would probably have an A and a B, and she would be on the B. We were like, what that mean? She gonna be on the B team? and so from there, we were like, well, we're just going to continue to. It's going to be her decision, but she's got to be comfortable. So she was either going to be a big fish in a little pond, or the reverse of that. Well, and so we just really wasn't sure what to do. She had boxes of letters that, like the copy paper box full
Hmm.
of letters coming to the house. And just the recruiting was different then than it is now. So a lot of it was, kind of a distance and no touch. But
Right.
once she started talking to Tech, and we knew him from like our past years with summer track and felt comfortable, it was a no-brainer for her.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And can I also add, the truth to that is my mom was okay with this, but my dad wasn't. When we went down to the visit, I remember my dad being like, okay, they taking us here, they taking us to see the campus. When we talking money, I remember my dad being so, because he wanted to know, what are they going to offer you?
Yeah.
And I remember I remember the coach, and he was like saying that they were going to give me everything that Tops wasn't paying for. Let's also add, I was a very smart athlete, all academic, all throughout college, through the Western Athletic Conference as well. So they knew I was Tops.
Yep.
I
Yep.
had already gotten Tops, but it was kind of like, that's not a full scholarship. Everything,
fool
but
me.
I remember my mom being like, well, kind of technically it is a full scholarship because there's still no money coming out of my pocket. And my daddy was like, H no.
Right.
And I'm 11.6 as a junior coming out, 11.6, and haven't really peaked or ran the time that I'm going to run my senior year. And with the whole idea of the B team thing, it was kind of like, I saw y'all B team and I'm running faster than them.
Definitely. No.
I'm running faster than them. So it was just kind of a process. That's when you could sign in November. So I kind of think that was the thing that they wanted me to do, sign in November. But it's my senior year. Like, y'all the first school I've called, talked to, and I didn't want to just throw all my eggs in one basket in such a short amount of time. So it was kind of like, okay, well, let's see what else and who else calls and who else we talk to. So
especially when your name is Chasidee. Speaking of dad, is dad around? Can we say hi to him?
Where is he? He's probably in the house somewhere with my mom at the time, I'm sure. My dad has gone a lot of medical procedures lately, so he
from you. He's shocked.
Come on in here, Pops. It don't happen without you too.
Well, and the four-legged brother is here too. So
oh god, he's not part of the
Wait. So I work in the animal field. So I manage animal hospitals and I'm a veterinary technician. So what kind of dog do you have?
He's a spoiled Maltipoo.
Oh, okay. What's his name?
All capital letters.
Tell him his name, Chastity.
His name is Orton, from Randy Orton. My mama is a all-time wrestler fan. Like, the number one has been the WrestleMania and all of that. So his name is Orton.
Orton. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we definitely need to touch on that powerlifting aspect as well, and how that ties into everything. I was trying to be patient, but since you mentioned it.
Well, Dad's here, so he can say hello
okay.
to the podcast world.
Yeah, come on in.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, pretty good.
Good. Thank you for jumping on and blessing us with your presence here, the protector behind this legend that you made.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you for getting on here. It's amazing to be able to talk to you all and ask questions and get your story. I mean, it wasn't even on the script, but to talk to both of you about what it is to support and be a support to a legend and a great, and is really important. And I think a lot of parents can take tidbits from that. I know for sure at least one of the motivations for opening my business and doing these podcasts too is to be able one day to have a facility that is comfortable for parents as well, because I have been in so many situations, so many gyms, so many stadiums where they make you pay. They make each person pay to get in there, and it is uncomfortable. Sometimes they don't even got good coffee. They got these nasty snacks, and you got to pack all your own stuff.
Mhm.
I would really love the ability to open a facility where it's done professionally. If we're gonna charge folks for stuff, let's have somewhere where mom and dad can be comfortable. Can I get a lounge? Can I get a comfortable chair? A
Mhm.
little, something hot to drink, and some clean bathrooms where the athletes ain't destroyed them. You know, I mean, this, I that's anyway. I'm sharing. I'm interjecting, but this is about you guys. I'm just saying I respect your role and involvement as a parent, and yeah, it's an honor.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Chasidee, back to you.
I always get so sidetracked.
No,
Um,
it's okay. I got you. I got
well, I mean, I guess I make the decision to go to Louisiana Tech
you.
University.
Hmm.
I come in as a freshman. I'm running pretty good. And now it's a little different because I traveled places before I traveled and competed in places before I got to college, but because as a school in Louisiana, we were in the WAC, Western Athletic Conference.
Yeah.
We went everywhere. So it was kind of that I don't talk about it often, but it was kind of that separation anxiety because now I don't have my parents there because I'm in Boise, Idaho, I'm in Florida, I'm in Hawaii, like we're at
Oh,
all these different Indiana, we're in all these different places now. My family can't come. So it
yeah.
was the leaning on your teammates, trying to lean on the teammates who were the same people like a year ago, probably eyeing you at a track meet.
Right.
Because that took some adjustments. Let me say
Mhm.
that. But we're all good, and I love my teammates to death. Like I would not take the 4 years away at all that I had at Louisiana Tech. But my freshman year, I won conference in the 60.
Okay.
As a freshman. I won conference outdoor as a freshman. And this is the meet that my mom, I knew she was coming, but I didn't know when she was going to be there. So I remember talking to my coaches and I was like, well, my mom booked a room here. And, in college, when you have those all day meets, you don't get to the meet at 9 o'clock and you don't run till 3. Like the bus comes and picks you up. You find your best shift to get on the bus so that by the time you get there, you rest a little bit and warm up. So I had been at the meet early because
Hmm.
I had 200 prelims. We probably ran a 4x1, 100. And my mom, it used to embarrass me in the beginning, especially when I was in high school. But they would say, runners on your mark. And it's supposed to be quiet at the start, right? But my mom would always say, yes, coach. Like she was saying every meet, and I would kind of be back, I guess, probably going to that mentality she told you, but I would just be like, oh, why is she screaming like that? But I remember my freshman year, I'm getting ready to run the 200. They're like, runners on your mark. And I heard, I was like, oh, it's go time. It's go time. So I ran a really good prelim 200. And I still to this day, as being a coach and knowing even more, I still just didn't think the 200 was my race. I was a true short sprinter, 55, 60, 100, 4x1, and put me on the relay. So I never, even in college, ever felt confident about running the 200, but I ran an amazing 200 that year. My mom was there. And so the finals comes, and I won the 100. This is the outdoor WAC championships. I win the 100, and I get freshman of the year. I get freshman of the year for the WAC conference, and I think another girl tied for the Western Athletic Performer of the Year with me. So they called me up there first. And so I got the plaque, right? So they call her, we shared the picture, but it's my plaque. So my coach is like, that's not sportsmanlike conduct. You got 2 plaques. You should give her the other one. And I'm like, they handed it to me. Now, not remembering my coach is not remembering my mama is at this meet. So at this point, I'm like, Mama, coach trying to tell me I gotta get this girl my plaque and take it with her. And my mom was like, oh no, ma'am. They'll mail her hers. So I end up leaving with my freshman of the year plaque and my athletic Western.
Now tell the story
athletic.
right. You didn't leave with them.
You are
left with
correct.
them?
That is the thing. That was the point that my mom was making. My mama was packing and putting those plaques on the plane with her going back to Alexandria, Louisiana. They never made it to Ruston. So that's what she was also telling my coaches, like, no, they're going home with me. So I kind of came in and it was a big deal because everybody was, well, how is she going to do when she got to college? And I had a very successful, my sophomore year was good. I won the 60 indoor, won the 60 outdoor. My junior year won the 60 indoor. I think I got second outdoor. And then my senior year, it was injuries after injuries and a hamstring and a hip rotator and got diagnosed with arthritis. So it was a ton of stuff that I was dealing with injury-wise my senior year that I think I had been dealing with already for a long time, but we were just finally able to actually diagnose it and put a stamp on it. And my doctor, Dr. Trey Guillory, told me that I better not do this interview without shouting him out. Dr. Wilton Trey Guillory and Dr. Roy Strickland were pain management / chiropractor doctors that they had been taking care of me and my body since 7th grade.
Are they where are they from? Are they still practicing?
I know Dr. Guillory is. Dr. Guillory was actually like a resident, a student working with Dr. Strickland. And he would come home and work on me, and I would only try to find the books for when he would be in town. And immediately, once he got his certified doctors, Dr. Strickland was like, I love you, but I know you leaving me, and I know you going to him. And I did, but it was still like they took care of me and my injuries. And so I got diagnosed with arthritis at 19.
Okay.
Had a really, really, really bad tear in my hamstring that I still don't think has healed officially. And then I have a hip rocker that rocks back and forth. Like if this is where your hip sit, your leg moves, it should be here. My hip rocks back. So sometimes I'm limping because it's rocked back. And then of course the leg then got shorter than the other. So they really did take care of me all throughout that career. But I think the injuries and the way I had to run my senior year had gotten so bad, it really wasn't much else. I was running every track meet with tape on my legs. Like they started buying me colorful tape because I could not compete without my tape on my leg. And so I was just so ready to be done with my senior year. I was ready to get rid of track. I'm like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm not working out for a long time and everything. And it was just like, just trying to maintain the senior year. And so the times that I ran my senior year, I feel like were times I had not seen since my early stages of track and field. So that's what made me take a break. And I didn't do much of track and field until I started getting invited to some track camps about 2018. And that's kind of where it all got started and where I am.
Wow. What a journey.
It has been.
I mean, I am really just amazed at how you were able to do, and it just brings home what you said about having a support team. You were able to accomplish a lot early, young, and your parents just really being that backbone made all the difference.
Definitely did.
I mean, shout out to the parentals.
Shout out to the parentals. But I gotta, if I'm gonna shout my parentals, I gotta shout my grandparents. Rest in peace to my grandfather because he was there every track meet. My grandmother. So a lot of it was just a whole support along with and just about all my teammates had great support. So it was like as track moms had a spot
Yeah.
in the stands that they were going to where they were going to be. And it's funny because they just dropped like the 2005 state meet like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So going back and watching that, and I actually watched it a couple of days ago, I can hear some of them. Like I can still hear some of them yelling out different things. So it was just support all the way around. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, I have a couple of questions for you, if that's okay. And Mom, please chime in if you can as well. Who are your mentors?
as of now,
Right.
definitely my mom. I still call her and ask her how to fill out W-2s and W-4s and I-9s. I still call her for those things, but track wise, Trent Ellis has just kind of like never left my side since 7th grade. And now being a coach, he's a well-known coach. He kind of prompts me on a lot of things. I am actually just finishing my USA track and field official certification.
Congratulations.
To be on the track as an official working for USA Track and Field. So I'm getting ready to get my confirmation and try to make some of the meets as well. And my goal, I was whispered that there's only one female starter in the state of Louisiana, and I watched her at the indoor meet last week, and that's the next thing on my list is to runners on your mark. Like I've been practicing it and everything.
I mean, let's hear it. Let's hear it. What you got? Come on.
That's it. So I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I just feel like I'm not at the point to where I can run and I can compete, but still being a part of this sport just drives me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So first, two things. Number one, I think tell everybody who your mom is and what she does, because I learned about that and I didn't know. Like how does she?
My mama famous too. That's what people don't know.
How does she keep up all of that?
My mama is famous too, and she's very.
Your mother is not famous.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. She is modest, so she's not me to run it out. My mama's in a coffee book.
Tell them.
But she's in a coffee book. She has all these different awards and accolades. She goes and speaks. She's a part of the Women of Manufacturing. Like they go to different schools in Alexandria, and she has her own group. She's a part of the Southern Alumni Group. She is the vice president currently of Delta Sigma Theta the alumni chapter of Alexandria. She is what is it? You're the chair? What, mama? Like I can't keep up sometimes.
Girl, I am a human resources professional that has a few community activities along with that.
She's so modest. So modest.
Well, needless to say, achieving is something that is in your bloodline. And again, I didn't know how big until I did some research and talked to Noah Hingston. And I was like, wait, what? But it's just really amazing. I mean, I will even isolate it and say to see high achieving Black women and being able to highlight them is something that I'm really honored to be able to pass on to the world, because the world needs to know these things and to see these things. And you never know what kid this might inspire. And you guys are inspirations. And I just don't want to glaze past that part. Like I really want you guys to have that accolade. And it's not even just about you, it's about who you might touch. So thank you for everything that you've done, Mama, setting the tone, being there, showing up, and then just breathing life into this wonderful person in Chasidee.
I'm gonna show up.
Yeah, hey.
She's gonna be there.
Awesome. Okay. So next thing, I just really want to know more about your coaching life and where you're coaching now. You know, how did that start, and what are your plans for the future with that?
Well, I am actually just in my second year of coaching. I started a new job that pretty much housed us on high school campuses in Shreveport, and the first campus that I was housed on was Woodlawn. Now, I did not come on the campus being like, "Hey, I ran track." I went to a meeting, I saw them, and the word like got back to our principal, and we had a meeting. He had plans. It was March of 2023, so
Hmm.
he already was telling me of some plans that he had for the new year. Wanted me to come on and be a part of the coaching staff, and so my first year coaching, I was the assistant girls coach last year. So it was a great feel of what it feels like to truly be coaching. Like, this
Yeah.
is an everyday commitment. I don't know if people understand how long track and field is as a season, and we're just saying high school because indoor starts in January. You want to get those girls conditioning for 3-4 months before that. So like, you got a month of August, but by the time September's here, you're having tryouts, y'all starting workouts, you're starting
Hmm.
off-season condition every day. And the other thing is, I would tell those girls, this is going to be your mental strain and gain, because you're working out, dying, throwing up, falling out, about to pass out for 4 months with no competition. Because everybody want to go to a track meet and compete.
Right.
But can you maintain being able to practice from September to January straight practice?
Uh,
So last year being my assistant year, my head coach left, and so I got a phone call that I was going to be the head coach. We're right now in February, and I still don't remember ever telling my principal yeah to the head coach position. Like, he said it and just kind of hung the phone up. But I mean, I guess I'm here. So my goal was to train these girls how I was trained. It worked. I feel like it was successful. I was blessed to have good coaches in high school, because a lot of times they just throw you out there. I was blessed to start off my track career with great coaches. The Hingston family, coming into high school, then getting into college. So I established a team. Uh, we've taken some records off the board. One of my sophomores, she just broke her own 60 record from last year and broke a 400 record that had been sitting there for a couple years. We have our next indoor meet actually on Saturday,
let's
and
go.
I'm going for the 4x2 record. So
Hey.
um, it's a little different, because I'm gonna just be transparent. I don't think Caddo Parish, aka Shreveport, it's almost like the farther you get up North Louisiana, track and field is not respected, if I just can say what I need to say. So
Really?
no, it's like you gotta take Alexandria and go down. So it's different coaching in an environment that's kind of like that. And like my mentors, Trent Ellis, the Glen Oaks head coach, Johnny Duncan, they're always like, why are you wasting your time up there in Shreveport? And for a while, I told myself the same thing until I see the progression in
Mm.
these girls. Like, I see the progression in them. Last year, me and the head coach were both former track athletes, so we kind of in some ways had the same mentality. I just wanted to do things a little differently this year, having my hands on it, and looking at the times that they're running now, they're almost like literally leaving off exactly where they left off in
Mm.
outdoor season. So it's like, ooh, we right where we need to be. We back breaking records. I got a good team. We got a relay together. So it's just bringing them along individually so they can actually truly get a real feel for what the sport feels like. So
Well,
Well,
let me say something,
mhm.
Mr. Ryan. This is karma, because to hear her after practice today in 2025, if I roll back to her coaches in junior high, but not so much junior high, but high school, everything she's giving those girls that she hated,
Mm-hmm.
it's karma. So with their
Mm-hmm.
complaints, their moans, their groans, I just laugh. I'm like, oh, really? Have you ever said that? And the answer is yes. So it's hilarious to sit where I sit now.
Yeah. Well, also from what I understand, um, her coming in and coaching in this school was not something that just anybody could do.
Yes. Man, I would love for my principal to be on here. I work at a school that is located in a low socioeconomic part of Shreveport. Um, it's kind of what people would probably describe as being rough. Um, so it's kind like, how can we put this since we on the record? So most of our students walk to school. I'm used to going to a high school where the student parking lot is full because everybody drives to school at 16, 17.
Yeah.
We barely have a student parking lot. They're either walking, riding the bus.
Paint that picture. Don't hold back.
So it's different. It's a rougher environment. It's a all pretty much Black school. You have your little spots here and there. So when I first got on the campus, me and the coach last year, we had things that we were putting in place. And it was so many of the current coaches and current teachers was like, y'all ain't gonna be able to do that. Them girls ain't gonna listen to y'all. They gonna go off on y'all.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna stay there and do that. How y'all go? Well, we've never even heard of indoor because now I'm competing with other sports because they're not used to their girls starting until February or January. So now
Right.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand she playing this, or I understand they're in this organization, but we got practice. So how are we gonna be? Well, we've never had to deal with them practicing so early. Okay, so how can we deal with it now because we're practicing this early?
Right.
So it was an establishment. I got some great girls. Let me say that I have some great girls this year. It seems even more exciting. I got some great parents. They all, and this is a big deal to me. We left last Saturday at 4:15 a.m. to get to Baton Rouge. It's a 4-hour drive on a bus and some change.
Wow.
So in order for us to get there, for my girls to run the 60 at the time that she needed to be there, we needed to be getting off the bus at 9 o'clock for them to warm up. All of my parents had all the girls there, all of their stuff. They had packed them with snacks. They had money. Some parents trailed us. Some parents came down later. So it was just like that first, like, okay, they went down there, they compete, they ran. It was really, really, really good. So yes, this is not a place that everybody can come to because you have to understand these children and this generation of children.
Yeah.
Because they'll give you back what
Mhm.
you're trying to give back times 100. And I've never really had any pushback from my students. Of course, I've had girls that they leave, they quit the team, and
Yeah.
they'll weed out who it needs to weed out. But my team now, like, I'm so excited for outdoor. We just got new uniforms. We got some different things going on. We actually have a media day. Like, my girls are having them a media day, February 22nd.
Go ahead.
Oh my God, they're so excited to, be in their new uniforms, get our outdoor schedule posted.
Yeah.
So it's some work. It's some work, but I'm tired, but I'm passionate and enjoying. So it's like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm right where
That's
I'm supposed to be.
that's really amazing because that's where that's the makings of a true coach. And just to elaborate, guys, I don't mean to step in, but we're talking about a school that has metal detectors. We're talking about a school that you may have to come prepared to defend yourself at any time. And she went in there as a coach and changed that program. She's being
Built the
modest.
program.
Built the program. Built the program.
Built that pro. I had to change some stuff, but I had to build it.
I mean, that's no easy feat. That takes dedication. That term takes all the qualities that you exude naturally, and then being like anybody can go to a winning program and
Mm-hmm.
build, but
Mm-hmm.
to start from the bottom with a blank canvas.
You said it. I say that all the time. And it's so funny because being in Shreveport there, I'm used to being in a track environment where people, they see my face and they're like, you look familiar. And then boom, they connect it. But here, I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the quiet new girl. Like, who is that new coach at Woodlawn? Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like who is she? You know, like I've kind of gotten some I call it track fact check.
Mm-hmm.
Because people don't know up here necessarily who I am, or if they've just moved here or they're new to the sport, they don't know, they don't know. So I've gotten some track fact checks before from some of the older coaches. They want to know who I am, where you come from, did you run, and this. And I just tell them when I feel like I'm getting fact checked, I tell them Google me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
me then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Learn a little bit before you come over here questioning
Yes.
my rep, mess around and have her put them track cleats on and show you a little something.
Well, I ain't gonna say that. Ain't gonna say that. So.
You know what? So okay, a quick story. I know this is not a quick story. So I was driving by. I work near where Noah trained me, and when I was driving by, I just like when you're running, like the smells.
Yes.
For me, the smells, the senses for all your surroundings are heightened, right? Because like as you're tired, as you're taking in those breaths, everything matters. Everything matters. So anyway, I was driving past there and I was like, oh, I remember.
Oh man, I get it.
Like, I can't do that now. But
I get it. Because if anybody is from Alexandria watching this podcast, and some of my former teammates or even people who have competed, where Alexandria is, where the high school is, Ash, there used to be a seafood place like on the corner called Robbie G's.
Oh no.
And can you imagine you done ran a 500, 400, 300 or repeated 300s and you smelling that crawfish being dropped and fish being dropped. So now there's a crawfish place. And lately I'm because I remember I was like, oh my gosh. Because I mean, you smelling that when you are trying to pull yourself back up off the asphalt of the track. So I definitely oh my goodness, I definitely understand that.
For me, it's bird poop. Because like we used to run,
I really had to experience that as much as I was outside.
It was like I don't know why I like whenever I was super tired, and then like we have a bunch of like seagulls and all them type of birds, and they just do their business whatever, and somehow whenever I was struggling the most, and Noah had me doing like training a little bit for cross country, so
I'm so sorry.
So I did not end up doing. I was 400 or less. That's it. But I would always, whenever I was like the tiredest, the most struggling, the most during that time, it would always be the nasty bird poop smells, and I was just. But and that's why I hated eating before running. Like it had to be something super super light. Something just enough for protein to help me give me power, but then I can't do the whole.
I get it. Oh, yeah. I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I just, oof. That just, oof.
I get it.
But yeah, I mean, last thing I want to ask you about to elaborate on, not last thing, two more things, but one of the last things is to elaborate on your time at Louisiana Tech.
Well, yeah, that was the part of the, the story with the 2 plaques thing. That was in college. I sit back, and me and my teammates just had homecoming. We celebrated together in November.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, there is no way. Like, I still sit back and look back like, there is absolutely no way that we did what we did.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
way. I'm still thinking of like some of the workouts, and I'm just like, how did I make it? Like, how did I get through? How did we get through that? And I think, student athleticism builds you up for life.
Yes.
And especially collegiately, because, you got practice at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You got an 8 o'clock class. You got to maintain going to all of those classes. And then guess what happened when you get out of class? You got to go back to practice. So
Right.
by the time you get out of practice, go to study hall, it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And then you still want to be a college student. Let's just be honest. So if there's a party, you want to go here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't tell you how many times me and my teammates like, we gonna go out just for a little while. Well, we got practice at 5. By the time we leave, and it's like 2:30, and we like,
ooh.
well, and it's like our coach knew when we went out. Like, we knew we later, I think some kind, find out he had a little snitch on the team or whatever.
Oh no.
It worked. That's how it works. So it built me up for time management. It built me up for just being able to, even when my plate is loaded, it's like, okay, well, it's loaded. I got 50 things. Let's see how I can separate or at least get them in a organized manner to take them on. And as you become an adult, you have a lot of pressure put on you, but it's like track and field made me work my best under pressure. I'm able to attack things at the last minute. I feel like if it's something that needs to get done, I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. It just builds the mindset of it. It's just, my injuries is what makes me kind of like cringe a little bit when we talk about, my career at Tech. Like I say, my first 3 years were amazing, winning the WAC indoor 3 years in a row, the 100 2 years but then my senior year was just like, let's just maintain so we can get through this year so I can graduate and get this degree. So
Well,
yeah.
What I just popped up on the screen here is I shared your business page, Track University _LLC. Everybody in the Louisiana area, especially in those areas that don't feel like track is useful, you heard it here from yourself, from a true athlete. And as you watch all these interviews that we do, one of the things that we're trying to express and exude subconsciously is that sports is a tool to help guide you for life. And that's one thing that Chasidee just said to us. And if you're struggling, if you need an outlet, if you need a coach, and you're in the Louisiana area, go to Track University _LLC to get that type of coaching that you need. The care, the determination, the drive, the winning attitude is all right in front of you. Don't run from it, run towards it.
And Ryan, let me say one thing that I wonder if you picked up, because was never on an athletic team, but do you hear when she refers to the homecoming that they just had, my teammates?
Yeah.
And I'm the one to say, girl, y'all not in college anymore. Y'all don't run track. They are forever teammates.
Yeah.
And that is building a network of people that have the same commitment to each other that they had when they were in college, struggling on a track team to win. Now they're trying to help each other win in life.
Yeah.
And let me also add, I forgot to say something. If my teammates watch this, they're gonna be like, how did you not say this? My class that came in, we call it the 7-11 class. My class that came in 07 and graduated in 2011, we won indoor and outdoor Western Athletic Conference champion girls all 4 years. So we have 8 conference championships. We never lost the WAC conference. We have 8
Wow.
championships, indoor and outdoor, every year. Even like we ran crazy. Like my mama probably remembers, I got a concussion. I'm very danger prone, I'm assuming. I got a concussion at one of the WAC conference meets to where I still went and ran the 60 and 1 with a concussion. So we had a team. We had a team in college for sure. We had a team, and yep, those are still my teammates. And we hate for people to be like, y'all don't run anymore. Those are not your teammates.
Wow.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are still my teammates. So from high school to college, I'm still my teammates. So it's like track is a family. It's a family.
It is a family. And you know, one of these days I would love to sit down and talk with all of you and maybe get some insider stories and keys and ideas. You know, I think that's something that the world needs to hear as well.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I could contact tons of them and they would love to do that. They would love to do that.
I say we get that on real soon.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, all right. I mean, a lot of information, a lot of. Oh, hold on, wait. Coach Noah wants to say a little something, something. First, can you tell us what Coach Noah means to you and how he's um, connected to all of this?
Man, Coach Noah Hinkson, I feel like he is the seed planner of my track and field career.
Okay.
He is the one that approached me at the track that year, getting ready to go practice with my parents.
Yeah, yeah.
For my trials in 7th grade. I knew nothing about USA track and field. I knew nothing about summer track. I didn't even know that it was feasible to become an All-American at that age. Like I didn't know junior Olympic, like what junior, can make it was something that would not have even been presented to me without him approaching me and trusting me, giving me a chance, giving me that opportunity. And I obviously seeing something in me on that day at that age that I didn't even see in myself. I had no clue that I could be the type of athlete, but they were like, oh yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start training here. We're gonna start helping here. And it's just kind of like, okay. I'm just blessed because, you know, I say this all the time. I feel like track and field is the most disrespected sport because a lot of people think we're just out there running.
Mm,
And a lot of people appoint anybody to come out there and just simply teach those kids to run and know nothing about track and field.
right.
So I was blessed that I wasn't approached by one of those people because I wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known the difference. So he definitely was, you know, the goat behind the goat. You know, he's
Hmm.
definitely the seed planter to this career. And I just always think, had we not gone to the track that day, like I probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you. I don't think my track career would have been as successful had we literally not gone to the track that day and been approached by Coach Noah, literally.
Well, Miss Baker, we know nothing happens without you too. What was it about Coach Noah that gave you the confidence to allow him to feed into your daughter?
We're very protective, very was and still is very protective of our child.
Hmm.
And the way that he approached us was authentic. And again, for the umpteenth time, I am not an athlete, but I'm smart enough to learn the sport. And I
Hmm.
have learned track. I learned the sport. And just continue. We built a relationship. And when he left, he turned us over to Angie. And again, we're talking traveling from Alexandria to Mississippi to Alabama to Tennessee with someone that you had not known
Yeah.
for that long. It was the authentic family that they put into us and us into them that made it easy and natural. And
Hmm.
plus, he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, that he does.
Yeah, he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. Coach Noah.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me on this evening. So, a few points. I won't be long. So, one of my things is I learned from my experience good coaches, bad coaches, right? And what I seen in her is what most kids today they don't see in themselves, right? uh, Miss Connie and Mr. Charles. I noticed them that day, and I noticed that young lady. Right, I can read people. I knew she was going to be great. Talking to her mom for uh, about 2 or 3 minutes, I knew she was very passionate, very smart, like she mentioned earlier, very analytical. Right, that's how the universe works. My coach did the same thing to me because I didn't know anything about track. He poured in us and he gave us opportunity. I knew she was highly academic, and I already knew from day one what she was going to do in track. That's not my thing. Yeah, I'm a track coach. I'm a professional trainer. I'm a physical therapist, right? That's not what really pushes me now. My goal is giving kids opportunity. And what I seen in her that day is what she's doing now. She's working in a community where the kids really need her, right? When you have that attitude, right, you can get a job anywhere on God's planet, right? And what I see now, right, she has opportunities coming she can't even see because her attitude, the support she still have from her family, right? The sky is a limit. This is just a stepping stone. She's going to be very highly blessed working in that high school with those young ladies. I already know what they're going to do on the track, but I understand what she's going to do for those kids' life, career, and etc. That's why I brung in the coaches I did because I always look for opportunity for the kids. Like she said, she had a horrible year, her senior year, right?
Mhm.
But she was in position to win in life. That's my goal. And she has the support. So that's what I do around the country now. Of course, I train them, but I look for the goal after the track career is over with. Thanks for having me.
Wow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow. Um, I think with that, we're gonna end this.
Yeah, it's like how you come back from that.
I don't even feel right saying much after that. Listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this. You need to see this. Everybody needs to see this. This is raw. This is family. This is faith. This is determination. This is drive. This is winning. Um, yeah. Everybody, Chasidee, Miss Baker.
Thank you for having us. It is an honor. I'm definitely hoping that other parents, athletes, and regardless of what sport, can still listen. I'm biased on track and field, of course, but athletes anywhere, upcoming athletes, current athletes, even the post athletes, because I was a post athlete and was about to sit down on track and field, just because of an upset that I had. So anybody, if you got the give, you got the drive to get out there and get someone else where you want it to be, past where you want it to be, even just mentally. Like, I love the mental change that I've input into my girls on the team. And so I just never thought that I would be that person now, coming from that in 7th grade, but it all obviously had a plan and it felt just perfect in place.
I mean, I'm excited to see what more is in store, because there's few times in life where you feel um, just the spirit of someone, and you just feel like like Coach Noah said, the sky's the limit, and I feel that from you, and I also feel it from your mom. It's just this is wonderful. I don't even have no more words right now. I'm stuttering. I'm just gonna stop.
Well,
Uh,
thank you so much, and let's just say it was a big deal for her to let me on. So she really does love her mother.
that's awesome. I mean, I'm glad. I am so glad you let her on too, because these are the type of things that just need to be highlighted. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, and
Um,
continued success on your podcast. You are
Definitely.
obviously as well doing great things that others need to hear. People are going to learn from you and the time and your authentic self. We applaud you as well.
oh, thank you. I mean, I couldn't do it
Thank you so
without
much,
you
Brian.
all. Yeah, thank you. Um, guys, go on YouTube, subscribe, and let's get more content out like this. Chastity, this isn't the last time we're gonna talk. Um, I, I can't wait to see your journey. All of those kids out there, go to Track University underscore LLC to go get with Coach Chasidee. Um, thank you guys. Thank you.